Welcome, Brother James, Mr. O'Toole, esteemed members of the Board of Trustees, members of the administration, treasured teachers, beloved parents, and my LaSallian brothers. So I was watching an episode of SpongeBob recently. Oh wait, Brother James, I think you may have left your speech up here. I'll leave the tasteful pop culture references to you. Today is a day for celebration and remembrance. A day of commemoration and reminiscence, for today is the day we depart from LaSalle College High School, a place where many of us have spent more waking hours than we did in our own homes. Now, I could talk for hours about how amazing LaSalle is and all it has done to prepare us for college. The school does have its many merits, but the school will be here tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, and for every day in the foreseeable future. And, although we really do have nice fields and facilities, that's not why we're here today. No. Right now, I'm going to talk about us, the collective us. You, me, and everyone here, the true LaSalle community. Now, the true LaSalle isn't just the school mascot or the building. It isn't just the students, just the faculty and administration, or just the Board of Trustees. Nor is it just our parents who gave us the opportunity to attend school here and guided us throughout our high school experience. The true LaSalle is the community. Every single person sitting on these fields today. I think it's important to recognize that. Because how special must we be that the very core of LaSalle's being is here to celebrate us? But what makes us so special? Now, to answer such a question, we have to look at the big picture. The big picture, for our purposes, doesn't have a single definition. It is the summary of all the experiences we've had over the past 4 years. Our successes and our losses, our triumphs and our failures. Everyone's picture will look a little different. There are, however, some things that do look the same. Let's break it down. As a class, we have lost much. We lost the end of our junior year, lost many of the early social events of our senior year, barely returning to a semblance of normalcy just last week at our prom. We had many losses this year, the hardest of which was when we lost our brother Isaiah. But you see, a loss is a funny thing, not ha-ha funny, but interesting funny. The meaning of a loss changes over time. As the initial sting fades, we tend to realize that those very experiences that hurt our hearts and lacerate our souls also test the very fabric of our being. Loss tests our emotions. It tests our will, our strength, and most importantly, our faith. Every great man has been tested in his life. Every great man, at one point, has been tested in his life. Look at Robert Downey Jr. He battled addiction for most of his young life, and now he's one of the most successful actors of our time. Benjamin Franklin, who showed up to Philadelphia one day with only 2 loaves of bread to his name. Look at Michael Phelps, who overcame 2 DUIs and a drinking problem to become the most decorated Olympian of all time. They all faced tremendous loss, despair, and turmoil, but they overcame it against all odds. This year, we were all tested. And while it may not have been as hard as one of Mrs. Nedzwecki's math tests, it was by no means easy. But the test that we endured this year was the same test high school students around the world faced. So if the test we faced wasn't so special, then what was? I think former President Theodore Roosevelt said it best. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the end, at best, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither knew victory nor defeat. The test we faced wasn't special. Our answer was. We didn't take the turmoil and loss lying down. We faced it sword in hand, ready to cut through the fog of despair, to put together a year I think we all are proud of. We put in the work, day in and day out. Online school was a tough adjustment, but that didn't stop us from performing our best academically. When sports were about to be canceled, we worked our hardest to stay safe and healthy to make sure that they happened. When our Lasallian brother and his family needed our support, we made sure that we were there for them. When it came down to big games, like the Flyers Cup, the LaSalle Wood baseball game, and the baseball semifinal, shout out LaSalle Baseball, we were there to cheer our brothers on every step of the way. So what makes us so special out of every other class of 2021? We didn't give up. Despite the loss, despite the world around us falling apart, we did not give up. Now there's a Bible passage I want to leave you with from St. Paul's first letter to the Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 11. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I thought like a child, and I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. We all have grown from when we arrived here 4 years ago. Our experience has helped us become true Lasallian gentlemen. There is no question about that. So I say again, when I was a child, I thought like a child, and I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I left my childish ways behind. We leave here today as men and as brothers to one another. And so now, the time has come for all of us to go and be the great men we were always meant to be.